You're listening to the CyberWire Network, powered by N2K.
John Goodhue, Regional Vice President. Congratulations! Which prize are you hoping for?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Hacking Humans podcast. This is an occasional series we call Hacking Humans Goes to the Movies. I'm Dave Bittner, and joining me is my CyberWire colleague, Rick Howard. Hey, Rick.
Hey, Dave. I like that gravitas you brought to that announcement. It sounded really good.
Yeah, I'll have to start an Oscar campaign for myself or something. So, on this show, Rick and I look at some of our favorite clips from cinema and television, clips which demonstrate some of the scams and schemes that Joe Carrigan and I talk about on the Hacking Humans podcast. We've got some fun clips to share, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after this message from our show sponsor.
The start of the year is a great time to take that next step in your education, career, and beyond. Rely on N2K certification prep to provide the tools to help boost knowledge, skills, and confidence to get you there. And now, for a limited time, all N2K certification practice tests are 40% off. Visit n2k.com/certify and use promo code N2KVDAY. That's N2KVDAY to save 40% on your purchase. That's n2k.com/certify with promo code N2KVDAY. Offer ends Monday, February 19th. Happy learning.
All right, Rick, we have got some good clips to share this week. You want to kick things off for us?
Absolutely. I'm very excited about this one, Dave. My clip this week comes from the pilot episode of the most realistic movie or TV show ever made that has hacking at its center, right? That's a big claim, I know.
Is quite a claim.
The show is called Mr. Robot, and Dave, I know you're a big fan.
Yeah, sure.
It ran for 4 seasons between 2015 and 2019 on the USA Cable Network. I don't even think that network exists anymore, but that's where
it's hard to know these days. If it's not, because I don't know about you, I cut the cord recently, so everything's a streaming service now.
Yeah,
and
I am too. I don't know where anything is, so that's true. And whether or not you embraced the crazy storyline across all 4 seasons, and let me tell you, the storyline was absolutely bonkers. Whenever the creator, Sam Ishmael, depicted hackers doing hacking stuff, it was realistic. You know, you won't see a lot of hackers frantically typing on keyboards and then finally saying, "We're in." You know, it's like in the Mission Impossible movies.
My favorite was, there was an episode of one of the police procedurals, and I don't remember which one it was, but they had 2 people typing on the same keyboard at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, oh, my, yeah.
Would work.
That's the all-time favorite.
Right.
All right, so that didn't happen in Mr. Robot, all right? So what you do see is the way that real hackers would attack victims in the real world. And in this clip, the pilot episode, the writer-director, like I said, his name was Sam Ishmael. He's trying to do a lot of things here. He's got to introduce the main character, Elliot, played by Rami Malek, best known for this role probably. But, you know, Dave, he played Freddie Mercury in the Bohemian Rhapsody movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
and he was the
very
villain.
Much.
Yeah, I know. I love that, right? And he was the villain in the latest James Bond movie, No Time to Die. And, you know, he had a small role in the most recent Oppenheimer movie. So Ishmael wants to show that Elliot might be on the autistic spectrum, thus the Mr. Robot of the title, and that he might have some daddy issues, okay? But more importantly, he wants to show that Elliot is a world-class hacker, elite hacker. I got that in air quotes. You know, and he wants to show that the hacking on this show is not Harry Potterish, meaning it's not magical. Instead, it's the real deal. So in this 5-minute cold open, before we even see the title screen, we hear about Elliot's man-in-the-middle attack targeting the owner of a chain of coffee shops in New York City by monitoring the exit nodes of the Tor network, the dark web, and compromising the Onion routing protocol. We're going to touch on the old school hacker debate about the pronunciation. Is it rooting or is it routing? And we're going to, I know, right? And we're going to see the difference between cyber hacktivism in doxing and cyber crime ransomware. And so you watch in real time how fast a business leader will flip-flop from refusing to pay the ransomware demand on principle to falling all over himself to pay the ransomware once he understands exactly the nature of the material data that Elliot would expose. So This scene opens with Elliot, Rami Malek. He's wearing a black hoodie and jeans. Of course, he's wearing the hoodie.
Of course.
He walks into Ron's coffee shop, and sitting across from the owner, a Middle Eastern-looking man, Ron, played by Samrat Chakrabarti. Elliot talks first, so let's roll the clip.
All right.
You're Ron.
Points to a sign that says Ron's Cafe.
But your real name's Rohit Mehta. You changed it to Ron when you bought your first Ron's coffee shop 6 years ago. Now you got 17 of them, with 8 more coming next quarter.
Ron's looking dubious.
Can I help you with something?
I like coming here because your Wi-Fi was fast. I mean, you're one of the few spots that has a fiber connection with gigabit speed. It's good. It's so good, it scratched that part of my mind. Part that doesn't allow good to exist without condition. So I started intercepting all the traffic on your network. That's when I noticed something strange. That's when I decided to hack you. I know you run a website called Plato's Boys.
Uh-oh.
Pardon me?
You're using Tor networking to keep the servers anonymous. You made it really hard for anyone to see it. But I saw it. The onion routing protocol, it's not as anonymous as you think it is. Whoever's in control of the exit nodes is also in control of the traffic, which makes me the one in control.
I must ask you to kindly leave.
I own everything. All your emails, all your files.
He has him a folder of all these things.
Pics.
Get out of here right now, or I'll call the
Police? And you want them to find out about the 100 terabytes of child pornography you served to your 400,000 users? Personally, man, I was hoping it was just gonna be some BDSM stuff. You realize how much simpler that would have been?
Ron's just realizing that he's in
I
trouble.
did not hurt anyone. I never did. That's my personal life.
I understand what it's like to be different. I'm very different, too. I mean, I don't jerk off to little kids, but I don't know how to talk to people. My dad was the only one I could talk to. But he died.
Sorry to hear that. How did he pass, may I ask?
Leukemia. Yeah, I definitely got it from radiation at the company he worked at, though I couldn't prove it. Now he's dead. Company's fine, though. Hey. It's okay, Rohit. You don't have to worry anymore.
I don't understand. Are you blackmailing me? So that's what this is about.
Now he's starting to get mad.
That's all you care about. No. If I pay you now, you want more and more. No matter how much I give. You will inform the police anyway. I won't pay you, sir. Remember, you also broke the law.
Actually, you're right. Partly. See, I usually do this kind of thing from my computer, but this time I wanted to do it AFK. In person.
Away from keyboard.
Trying to work on my social anxiety. But there's always the threat of you fleeing after I call you out. You know, you tell your sysadmin to take your servers down, wipe all the data, so I made sure to include the current time and location on my anonymous tip.
Wait, hold on. I'll give you the...
Stands up, is getting ready to walk out.
How much to go? I'll pay you.
That's the part you were wrong about, Rohit.
As the police arrive.
I don't give a shit about money.
Not ransomware. Okay.
Oh, man, that's brutal.
It is brutal. What an excellent clip that is. It covers so much ground. Okay. You know, I've been a big fan of the show. And, you know, to have a writer-director set it all up like that is amazing. And he covered so many things. And
well, let's go through it together. What are some of the things in particular that caught your eye?
What I like the idea that he immediately starts talking about the Tor network, okay, that most people have heard, have never used, that this guy, Ron, has set it up to hide his child pornography website, and he thinks he's bulletproof. But he runs into Elliot, who has no problem being able to monitor the Tor network's exit nodes to find out what this guy is doing. And I just explained that like that was easy. That is not an easy thing for a hacker to do. Totally possible, and I'm sure that most nation states do it, but it just kind of elevates Elliot and his hacker elite status. So that's the part I like. Was there a favorite part for you?
Well, I think the performance here is remarkable. You know, when he says that, I don't remember exactly how he phrased it, but how he says he's different as well. And you see this kind of wild look in his eyes. You know, as you say, I think throughout the series, it's, if not overtly, it's alluded to that he is somehow on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And that's evident from the get-go. You know, there's almost the way he approaches this is so cold and calculating. It's disturbing.
No eye contact. Okay. And you know, and you find that out in the show, he has no social skills at all. Right. And so, but to introduce this character in that way, I didn't notice it the first time, but it totally hits home the second time you run through it.
What do you suppose he was actually after here? Do you think he's just trying to take down a pedophile?
Yeah, first it was very keen. All right, when he said, "It's that little thing that I know the world can't be good." You know, he came into the coffee shop, had gigabit speeds for his wireless access. He thought that was good, and he goes, "You know what? That's too good to be true. I wonder what's really going on here." You know, driving the hacker to do something that to keep digging until he finds something. And remember, he says, I was hoping it would be benign, like, just kind of mild porn. All right. But when he found out, when he found out that it was, child porn, okay, then, he decided to do something about it. So, yeah, I don't think he didn't have a hacktivist motivation going in, but the further he got and the more he found, he realized he needed to do something about it.
Yeah. It sets the character up to have a certain amount of moral ambiguity as well. He's doing this to this person, which he didn't have to do. He could have left things alone, but he felt obligated, I suppose, to, take down this pedophilia ring, whatever it may be.
It kind of drives the whole series, right? Because he belongs to a hacktivist group who's trying to make the world better. They are against capitalism in general and against one specific company they refer to as Evil Corps. A stand-in for Microsoft, I think. Okay, and so the whole show is them how they try to take power away from them. So if I was a Dungeons and Dragons guy, I would say that Elliot is chaotic neutral, generally good, but has his own set of rules. Okay, and and we'll try to make it happen in his favor.
Yeah. No, it's fascinating. And then, as you say, so many things get packed into this little 5-minute clip. And
I know.
It's impressive how many, they get it all right? I mean,
know.
The tech side,
the whole show is that. The whole show is that, okay? But the real question I want to answer, Dave, okay, is where do you fall on the age-old question of pronunciation of rooting versus routing? Where are we at on this with you?
Oh, routing.
Me too.
Routing, yeah. Yeah, now... I certainly grew up hearing both of them. As a child, we were referring to actual physical maps. We're gonna set, and I certainly had relatives. In fact, I think both of my parents would have said route. What route are we going to take to our vacation this year, or that sort of thing. But no, I think the device is a router, so. Well, let's call it routing.
Or a router. I mean, in the early days, in the 90s, there were people around me that called them rooters, and I remember I was very confused because they said rooter, but I didn't understand what that meant.
Yeah.
Right? So
right.
And there was rooting your credentials and getting root access.
Right, a different kind of rooting. Yeah, right.
It just confused me. All right, so
no,
I prefer
there's nothing
router.
worse than being on the outside of an inside joke, right?
Yeah,
and that's kind of what that's like. And certainly, back in those early days, people weren't always forthcoming with all the information. Like I don't know. There was something elite about leaving people out of the conversation.
Oh, yeah. If I know more than you, for sure.
To our detriment. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I will say I highly recommend the show. There is a number of blog sites that when it was out that outlined all the technical details that they use in the show, right? And most of the hacking tools were real tools or modified versions of real tools, right? And so if you're into all that kind of stuff, you should definitely check it out. It's well worth the listen to.
All right. Well, my clip this week comes from the 2003 film Matchstick Men, which is directed by the great Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
We have highlighted this film before. In fact, Joe shared a clip from this that showed a lottery ticket scam. That was one of our early episodes of Hacking Humans Goes to the Movies. The film stars Nicolas Cage, Sam Rockwell, and Alison Lohman. Cage plays a character named Roy Waller, who's a con artist from Los Angeles. And he has a partner and protege named Frank Mercer, who's played by Sam Rockwell. And Roy, basically, he's a low-level con man. He does short cons. And as this movie starts out, he and Sam Rockwell they're selling overpriced water filtration systems to unsuspecting folks over the phone. And that's what this scene is all about that we're going to share here. We start out with Rockwell's character. He's on the phone. He's in the midst of scamming some of his marks with this water filtration scam, promising fabulous prizes. So let me play the clip.
Well, congratulations. You're a guaranteed winner of one of 3 fabulous prizes. Have you ever won anything major before?
No, never.
Well, you have now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No, it's confirmed.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
Okay, what did I win?
Either the Chevy Blazer, the Paris... Do you have a water filtration system in your house?
Water filter?
Mm-hmm.
No, sir. Pretty sure no.
Well, do you read the papers or watch TV?
Oh, sometimes, yeah.
Well, then you've probably seen our advertisements. Now, as I said, Irene, the government is going to make you pay a tax on the prize. But if you buy the Waterson 2000 water filtration system, the prize gets recorded as a sales expense, and you don't pay any tax.
That's
Good deal, huh? Yeah.
So we see Nicolas Cage's characters pulling up outside of their office here.
I'm going to have a courier.
And Watterson sees him and sort of bangs on the window.
He's going to come to me, and then we'll decide which one of those prizes you get.
Have him come in quickly because he's got a hot one on the line.
$98 even. You pay twice that in stores.
We see that the water filter actually only costs $49.99.
Stepped into my office, and he would love to talk to you. Can you hold just a sec? Thanks, Irene. Good morning.
Who says so?
Irene Fisk. She wants to talk to her husband first.
Mrs. Fisk. John Goodhue, Regional Vice President. Congratulations.
I love the way he just turns it on.
Which prize are you hoping for? Well, that would be my choice, too.
We've never been.
My associate tells me you have 5 grandkids? Wow. Now, I understand that you'd like to speak to your husband first about this, and I can understand why. But the thing is, Irene, my secretary's having a baby this afternoon, and everyone here at the office is about to bug out and head over to the hospital.
Well, that's wonderful.
Now, let me confirm your
Rockwell's in the back giving him the head nod like, that's a good one, boss.
Right?
Yeah.
So, have you ever been? Has anyone come at you with this particular scam? The thing of, congratulations, you have won one of 3 fabulous prizes.
Probably, but I have to admit, as I'm old and senile these days, I either can't remember that they have, or you get so accustomed to it now, you just shut them down before they get to the, the water filter part and the tax evasion part. So,
yeah.
How about you? Have you been attacked by one of these things?
My recollection is getting postcards in the mail. And again, this is, 25 years ago when, I was just getting out of college, just getting started with my own place. And, a postcard coming in the mail that says, congratulations, you have won one of 3 fabulous prizes, either a new Chevy truck, a fabulous boat, or a cash prize, and all you need to do is call in today and you're guaranteed to win. And so, so the scammers, they don't even have to call you. They have you calling them.
I know, right? I will admit that when I was younger, I may have given money to the book of the month club or the record of the, where you give them $1 and they send you the best album every week or something like that. Yeah. And you realize that you need to pay $1,000 for each subsequent album or something like that. Yeah.
Yes,
I may have been
Columbia Record Club.
Yeah. That's it. That's it exactly.
Yes. I believe my parents had to write a letter to them to explain that I was in fact a minor. And they would, we would be returning all of the cassettes that I had ordered, and I'm sure they got that a lot. But what this outlines is kind of this bait and switch sort of scam here, where they're saying, in order to get your prize, all you have to do is buy this one thing. And in this case, they're using these sort of phony water filtration systems as the thing that they're actually going to sell the people.
I got to tell you, Dave, the thing that pops out at me watching this clip, all right, is how hard they work. Those two guys are working so hard on this scam. It isn't like it's easy street. They're putting in a full day to make, a chump change, scamming these victims. So this seems to me if they diverted their attention to something else, it'd be less stressful. I don't know. So,
ain't that the way though with crooks? It's just choose an easier life. This can't be an easy path for you. But I guess everyone's circumstances are different. And you think about, they said here that they were trying to sell these water filtration systems for a few $100s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And if they only cost $50. But let's say you can make $1,000 a day pulling this scam off. You can live off of that.
I guess but man, the pressure to make that work, and that's just not my cup of tea. I'm guessing. Right?
No.
The other
definitely
thing
takes a certain kind of person.
Oh yeah, and that character trait that it comes across in this clip is personality. Look at Sam Rockwell operate those phones. He establishes rapport. They're friends by the time they get off the phone, right? And it's just, man, he is dialed it up to 12, right? And I said that too when Nicolas Cage came in. He comes in the middle of the scene. He kind of walks into the office like anybody, any schlub coming to work. But as soon as he's on the phone, bam, he's up at 11, selling it to the customer, right? Wow.
Right, and just effortlessly pulls a story out of his hat about how
just makes it up on the fly. Yeah,
right. We have our secretary's going to have a baby today, so we're all going to the hospital.
What a great story that is. That lady totally cements it. Yeah,
that would what better to work with a grandma than a baby that's coming, right? And that's what they do.
Can I just gush for a second about Sam Rockwell? I know Nicolas Cage. We all love Nicolas Cage.
Sure.
But Sam Rockwell is one of my favorites. He's been nominated for an Oscar for Vice, a movie called Vice. He played President Bush. He won an Oscar for 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. But he's been in so many of my favorite movies like The Green Mile, Galaxy Quest, Charlie's Angels, Iron Man. And my favorite, Mr. Right, this little small movie that I just love. And by the way, he dances in almost every one of them. He's got so much skill. So I love Sam Rockwell.
To me, he's one of the, at the danger of using a sports ball analogy, he's kind of like a utility player for me.
That's right.
Everything he shows up in, he's good in. He always delivers, but he's not a big movie star. Like if you said, list the top 10 movie stars, I doubt he'd be on many people's list.
He wouldn't. Even mine, he probably wouldn't make, right? And
right.
And but whenever he's on something, he makes the project better. Okay, even if he's playing a bad guy or a good guy or somewhere in the middle, like these guys, it's just fun to watch him operate. So I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't seen the film Matchstick Men, I do recommend it. It's a movie that did okay. It didn't make a lot of money. It was one of those sort of quieter sort of artsy, quirky sort of films when it came out in 2003. I do remember seeing it in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's kind of a cult classic these days. But if this is your thing, if you're into these sort of scams, and I'm guessing, but the virtue that you're listening to this show, you probably are.
You probably are.
Matchstick Men is kind of a catalog of so many of the scams sort of idealized and played out. So it's worth a look.
Good clip, man. Good clip.
Yeah. All right, well, that is our show. I want to thank all of you for joining us. We would love to know what you think of this podcast. You can email us at hackinghumans@n2k.com. Your feedback helps us ensure we're delivering the information and insights that help keep you a step ahead in the rapidly changing world of cybersecurity. N2K Strategic Workforce Intelligence optimizes the value of your biggest investment, your people. We make you smarter about your team while making your team smarter. Learn more at n2k.com. Our senior producer is Jennifer Iben. This show is edited by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive editor is Peter Kilpie. I'm Dave Bittner.
And I'm Rick Howard.
Thanks for listening.